Hello, good morning. I am Patrick Yeboah, doing a presentation on human immunity. Why do we need immune system? This question can be asked in a several ways. Why do we need a security as a human being? We know that we need a security system to provide a safety for our being and environment. The same thing applies to our human body. Immune system defends us from outside invaders by maintaining our overall health, by defending us from infection, sickness, and disease. Essentially, we have two types of the immune system, the innate and adaptive, which we develop after exposure to bacteria. Each part of the immune system is made up of many components, but is mostly made up of white blood cell, antibodies, bone marrow, thymus, and lymphatic system. We know that infections occur when microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses invaded the body, typically through the mouth, nose, or through cuts in the skin. Bacteria are single-celled organisms which can cause illness, such as pneumonia. Viruses are different from bacteria, but they need a host before they can survive. So they need hosts to replicate before they can survive. Diseases caused by virus include common cold, chickenpox. We have skin disease such as foot ringworm caused by fungi, and parasite disease such as scabies caused by parasites. Infection can be transmitted direct, indirectly, insect bite, or through food contaminated. Our body has three lines of defense to prevent our system against any infection. So for our body to defend against pathogen invasion, we have three lines of defense. We have our skin. The skin has a, we have our skin, and we know that the skin is the largest organ of the body, and it's our most prominent physical barrier of our defense. The epidermis of the skin provides a waterproof, which prevent the penetration of microorganisms, chemical radiation, toxic, and other harmful substances. The body is also able to fight against diseases through its mucosal immune system. These membranes are responsible for fighting infectious agents, pathogens, and others while allowing nutrients to pass through. Stomach acids such as pancreatic enzymes, bile, hydrochloric acid in the body, intestinal secretion can also be found in the gastric tract. So according to the pathologist, they believe that 70% of our immune system is in our gastrointestinal tract, which demonstrates how important to keep the healthy waste. Pathogen can also enter the body through the nose, which is why our nasal cavity are coated with a sticky mucus that trap the microorganism before they can travel into the airways. Although this is not 100% effective all the time. So humans also have tiny projection called cilia on the lining of the airway, which sweep particles up to the throat where they can be swallowed into the stomach. We have hairs in the nose, which filter any dust particles when we are inhaling oxygen into the body. The second line of defense is called inflammation. When injuries occur in the body, the body creates an inflammation response, which is the innate immune response to the damage or infection involves several cellular events. We know that the physical effects include dilution of the blood vessels, forming gap in the cell wall, allowing large blood cells to pass through, increasing blood flow and creating inflammation. These sites may appear swollen and feel warm to touch because of the extra and the protection attached to the infection. And it's often painful because the inflammation is one of our second line of defense and is very vital to the promotion of healing the cut. We have our of defense. Third line of defense, which is what? The lymphocytes. The lymphocytes are another type of what? Blood cell which can be found in the lymphocyte tissue around the body. There are two types of lymphocytes. We have the T cell and the B cell. The T cell mature in the thymus gland and function to help destroy problematic cells such as pathogen or damaged cancerous cell. Helper T cell, the most common type of T cell, regulates most of the immune function in the body. By releasing lymphokine that stimulates other T cells to grow and take foreign bodies. B cells mature in the bone marrow and produce antibodies or immunoglobulins when activated. Plasma cells are a type of B cell that has secreted antibodies into the secretory system to provide immunity and memory cells. Our next part of a presentation, which is about the session of the question 2, we talk about the acquired immunity. We know that immunoglobulins have many functions. It has many functions, including recruitment of immune cells, neutralizing of toxins and removal of antigens. As you can see, the chain of the immunoglobulins are arranged in a Y shape, with the smallest chain having the stability to bind the antigens. The immunoglobulin is named after the type of heavy chain they have. The common variations of immunoglobulins are shown on the slide. We have IgG, which is a common immunoglobulin. It is the only immunoglobulins that can pass from another to baby via the umbilical cord. So we know that the IgA is responsible to allergic reaction and IgD identify antigen on the cell surface. The IgA also protects the mucous membrane, while the IgG only this can be passed to the unborn child through what? The umbilical cord. Antigen found through the body and in harmful pathogens are used by the immune system to signal whether it should attack or not, depending on whether the antigens are falling or safe. We have self-recognition. Self-recognition occurs whereby an antigen is being introduced into the body. When antigen is being introduced to the body, the antigen find it difficult to recognize that cell. So there are two cell surface, patients known as major histocompatible compressed, that is MHC1 and MHC2, and the human leukocyte antigen complex known as HLA. Throughout the body, health nucleated cells contain MHC molecules. Healthy cells can be recognized by the immune system as safe and are not attacked. MHCR molecules bound with protein antigens specifically to a pathogen. When the cell infected with the pathogen is recognized by the immune system as a foreign cell, so which must be destroyed together with the infected cell. So when these antigens is being introduced to the body, these organs find these antigens as a foreign invaded, so they attack and destroy them together. In reality, the immune system cannot consistently respond to the foreign antigens, as we all know, because the level of response varies significantly based on how similar self and non-self antigens are. There will be a greater degree of response for antigens than the different from self antigens. Autoimmune disorders. Autoimmune disorder. Autoimmune diseases can occur all over the body and causes fatigue, muscles ache, low fever, and inflammation. Rheumatoid arthritis are one of the most common diseases described by the NHS in 2019 as long-term condition that causes pain, swelling, and stiffness. And unfortunately, there is no cure found at this century for arthritis, but symptoms are treated with a medical and supportive therapies, such as physiotherapy. Surgery is also an option for correction of joint problem. It is believed that women and smokers have an increased risk of triggering autoimmune diseases, as well as people who have family history of autoimmune diseases. So we are saying that these autoimmune diseases is very, very dangerous and deadly, and it's mostly occurring from people who have a history background on it, smokers, and the percentage of women acquiring this kind of disease is higher compared to the men. Type of transplant rejection. You know that an organ transplanting is carried out to correct organ malfunction, assuming someone has a kidney failure. To correct that kidney failure, unless we do a transplanting, we use a healthy kidney from another person to place that damaged kidney for it to work to function. So we know that an organ transplantation is carried out to correct organ malfunction with a healthy organ given by a donor, and this is often a life-saving procedure. Unfortunately, the immune system does not accept the donor organ. Unfortunately, the immune system sometimes find it difficult to accept the donor organ, the healthy organ that we are using to place or correct the damaged organ. Sometimes the immune system of that receiver find it difficult to accept the incoming organs. So unfortunately, the immune system does not always accept the donor organs, viewing it as a foreign agent. And the process that follows is known as rejection. We know that when our antigens in the body find another organ as a foreign, they treat that organ as what? Infection or invaders. As I discussed earlier in the presentation, the immune system is capable of recognizing antigen on the surface of the cell as a foreign or a self. In the case of the transplanting, the immune system may not recognize the antigen present in the organ, and it may initiate an attack. So we are saying that the immune system will find it difficult to recognize the antigens in the transplanting organs. So whereby the immune system will initiate attack. This is what we call rejection of transplanting organs. So in some cases, for a surgery to correct this defect, a medicine containing monoclonal antibodies is also used during and after a surgery to fight off a specific T cells known to cause rejection. If rejection does occur, it will be as one of the three types shown here on the slide. The most common rejection seen in acute, as all recipients will experience some amount of acute rejection. An example of hypercut rejection will be if a recipient is given the wrong blood type. So whereby a recipient is being given a wrong blood type, a rejection too can occur. Incompatible. So now we are moving to the final session and final stage of presentation. Okay. There are two types of active immunity. There are two types of active immunity. By first, what is active immunity? Active immunity describes the resistance to a particular disease through creating antibodies, either naturally or artificially. Natural active immunity developed from exposure as a specific pathogen such as common cold. So we have active immunity. Active immunity being infected by live antigen, and we have active immunity also developed through vaccination. Vaccination consists of death or weakened bacteria or viruses that causes immune responses in the body. We have a passive immunity. Passive immunity refers to the short-term resistance. A short-term resistance that is acquired either naturally or artificially. So a newborn through maternal antibody transfer have a neutral passive immunity that lasts about 6 or months. An artificial passive immunity is attained through inoculation with immunoglobulins that give temporary resistance during the outbreak. So we are moving on to immune response to a vaccination. The primary immune response occurs when a germ is encountered for the first time. So we are saying that when an infection is being encountered the secondary response occurs when the pathogens is encountered again. So the first time, our body antigens find it difficult to resist that infection. So it will take a longer period of time before a soldier is being raised in the body to fight against the diseases. So we are saying when it is occurring in the second time, there has been a memory T cell. So this memory T cell will be able to recognize that infection. And at that level, it will raise a maximum amount of resistance or maximum high effective attackers to fight against that infection. Herd immunity. Herd immunity occurs whereby there is a large group of people and a few of them is being vaccinated to resist the spreading of the disease. So herd immunity is a form of indication protection that occurs when a majority of individuals are being vaccinated, like a COVID vaccine. So wherever a few people is being vaccinated, it serves as a barrier to those behind them. So which reduce the likelihood that the disease will spread since there are fewer individuals that can contact it. A common example of this is a highly contagious disease. Vaccinating people cannot catch measles from those who are infected with it. So high immunity protects people who cannot be vaccinated. So like when we have an old age people who cannot walk to a vaccinating center, we have a newborn baby. So when those around these people are being vaccinated, it's very difficult for those people to get contact to any outbreak of sad disease. So we are talking about vaccination. So vaccination is whereby a bacteria being alive or inactive is being introduced into the body to boost the body immune system. When this occurs, it improves the immunity of the body. So we are saying the benefit of vaccination. Vaccination protects you and others from life-threatening diseases. Group immunity or herd immunity refers to the protection conferred by vaccination in a group of people. So vaccination also helps prevent diseases of the entire country. Prevention of diseases is usually more cost effective. So vaccination it helps us to save cost. Let's see the outbreak of COVID-19. When the intervention of vaccination came, A lot of life is being saved, cost is being saved, and due to vaccination, we have a lot of chronic diseases, chronic infection, which have been eradicated from the system, according to WHO. So immunity is how our body system is being able to fight against any infection.